This is Surge with the comic run.
Let's go.
The comic run. The new Superman movie. I thought it was good. I found it well. What are y'all thoughts?
Mid. I'm giving it an 8.
8 out of 10?
8 out of 10. And I have my reasons why, but I want to hear what y'all got to say.
Out of 10, what you think, Ronnie?
I give it a, you know what I mean? I don't know. I thought it was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a whole lot better. We have to see the next movie in line to see how this all plays out. Because, you know what I mean? To me, that's how I feel. Like, this could be the start of something special, or it could just be, that's how I feel.
Chase?
Straight mid.
What'd you say?
It was mid. Yeah, my issue was with the plot points. I thought Superman was greatly casted. Lex Luthor was not my choice. Thought he was an idiot, even though he's supposed to be the smartest man on the world. There was a scene, and shout out to Nuff Said New York on Instagram. He said Lex had a clone of Superman, right? Dressed up in a suit, who dressed up in another suit to embarrass Superman, right?
Ultraman?
Yeah. Why didn't he just have the clone of Superman just embarrass Superman? So he went all the way to the Fortress of Solitude, right? To get a clip to embarrass Superman when he could have had the clone of Superman and built another clone of Superman to embarrass Superman and beat Superman's ass at the same time. Right? Just didn't make any sense. Then there was that scene with the monster. They could have fleshed that out a little bit more. Superman was what Superman was supposed to be, but I felt that the people who were not Superman shined more than he did, right? And they were the stars of the show.
All right, cool.
Mr. Terrific, Guy Gardner, those two.
Guy Gardner's who?
The guy with the bowl cut.
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Yo, I thought they were corny.
Well, Mr. Terrific stole the show.
He was
the
corny
dude with
though.
the T. He was better than everybody else. He had the best fight scene in the movie.
So, this is my opinion about it. First of all, I'm a Marvel guy. And I think this is one of the best DC movies I've seen in a very long time. I thought that James Gunn came in and did what he was supposed to do with the material that he had. The material that he has is DC Comics. It is not Marvel Comics. Marvel is a much better comic. Marvel makes much better movies because it's a much better comic. The characters and the stories that you see in DC are not as good. And some of their best heroes are pretty fucking boring. So what you got was the best that you could thresh out of a real Superman in a real hero movie. What does Superman do is the first question. Superman brings hope. He brings a beacon of belief. And he shows everyone that anybody can be a superhero. That's what Superman is. He figures out a way to win without doing the one thing that anybody else can do with his powers to stop anything, which is just kill you instantly, which is what we would do in Marvel. But in this case, in DC, he figures it out without doing the one thing that is the cardinal rule. The problem that they had with DC over the past few years is that they've taken all this darkness and put it into the movies. And so then you don't see the light that is supposed to be Superman. And so then it kind of takes away from what your expectations are now after you're fed this extra dose of DC darkness. And then when they bring it back to camera and want to reflesh it out and they show you what the DC universe is really about, what it really looks like, no one likes it. Well, duh, that's why Disney bought Marvel and they didn't buy DC. DC is trash. DC is corny. DC is boring. But the movie itself represented everything Superman is in the comic
I don't
books.
disagree with that. Right?
It's
Right,
to
but
the source
point.
material.
Besides that, was it a good movie?
I'm going to tell you why I thought it was a good movie. So I just wanted to explain the difference between a Marvel movie and a DC movie. Because when we grade them, we have to grade them based off of what they represent. And I had this argument the other night because I'm like, hey, everything goes back to the original transcript, right? Which is our comic books. So that's what we base as comic book fans, whether or not we approve of something, right? How close is it to the source content? Is this something that aligns with the source content of the creators?
Mhm.
In this case, for Superman, it is. And I'll tell you why.
So not to cut you off, but
You did, so why?
for Superman,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Okay, cool.
That was Superman,
Right.
right? For Lex Luthor was not Lex Luthor, right? And that's where, for me, the plot got jumbled,
Okay.
right?
What up, DJ? Oh, my
But go
bad.
ahead.
Well, and y'all just tell me if y'all agree with this or not. Wasn't this a young Lex Luthor? Wasn't this Superman's third year, and this is a younger version of the Lex that is the genius? And you said that he's the smartest guy in the world. He's not. Mr. Terrific actually is. Is he the most diabolical man in the world? Yes, absolutely. Him and the Joker are the two most diabolical villains. So with that being said, I feel like a younger version of him, which is what they showed, has to fail to get to the level of diabolicalness, if that's even a word, that we need him to be at.
I mean,
It's
he's
almost
always
one of
gonna
those.
fail,
It's
right?
one of those things like when Marvel came out with the first Avengers movie. If we really paid attention, in the very first Avengers movie ever made, Thanos failed. He lost. The very last scene of Avengers, the first movie, Thanos is at the end. Right? We can't stop them. They're unworthy to be whatever. Like, remember that whole scene?
Yeah.
Right? So you built up to the point where a movie came out finally, Infinity Wars, and he won.
But here's the difference. The heroes did not know that Thanos was the man behind it or the one behind it, right? Now, if Lex would have been pulling the strings for another villain to test Superman, right? And you see Lex throughout the thing,
Well, he did.
right?
He had another villain.
But you
attack
get what I'm
Superman.
saying. But he got caught and beat and thrown in prison, right? So
Right.
he lost.
It can't be the Thanos story.
I'm not saying to be the Thanos story, but if he was the ultra mastermind, right? Where he lost, it was a small setback, but nobody knew that he was behind it. We knew he was behind it as the audience. Then that's a different story. But they just neutered him right
Well,
there where he goes to prison.
But you don't even know what happens next.
Yeah, which is true.
Right? So, like, we're saying he's neutered, like Lex is not neutered.
I get you.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the one thing I would argue. As far as the movie itself and why I would think that it was a good movie is because the things James Gunn chose to do in the movie that go against everything that DC represented, which was wrong in the past, I think that's where we got the win at.
I'll give you that.
So, they didn't hurt the dog in the movie, right? They showed that a man can still lose a fight but win
At the end of the
at
day.
the end, right? The bright colors.
Yeah, I'll give you that too.
Superman flying and smiling, right? Superman having an actual good time and using people to help him in the movie to win, right? The villain being a regular human that we see every day in our regular day lives, but we win this time, right? That's something that we overlook. Lois being a Lois that doesn't wear a dress and is in distress, but wore boots and pants and didn't need to be rescued by Superman, but in fact rescued Superman. Like, that's important.
Okay.
The power that they put in the right hands in this movie, I think, is what made it
Mhm.
what it was. And we sometimes get spoiled by those things, right? Because we forget what makes these things special, right? What makes Superman so fucking special? Superman is not special because he can break every building in the city like they did in the last Batman versus Superman movie. He
Or even
destroyed.
Superman.
That's not Superman, right?
And that's the reason why I didn't like Superman Returns.
This
That was-
movie, Superman not only did he save people, he saved a dog, he saved a squirrel. Like, they put
But
that
this
in there
movie
for a
looks
reason.
like it was made for kids.
Well,
Like,
that's what
Superman
Superman
was
is.
Right.
Thank you.
So that's the essence of Superman, right? If we go back to the
no, the essence of Superman is that he saves everyone, what you were talking about. Like, he's a superhero that will, you know,
He won't take the
cater to
shortcut.
kids, right?
He won't take the
And the
shortcut.
kids love him, but he's made for everybody. This movie feels like they try to give it a cartoon feel, but just use real life things. It was like, just be real life. Like, Marvel
But you-
strikes
you-
that good
but
balance
you
where
keep saying like real life.
because it just gave me a cartoon
But I get what
feel.
you're saying though. I get what you're saying. That realism is where they failed.
Who Phil? What do
DC.
you mean Phil?
I feel like DC failed
This time around,
because
or?
prior
Mm.
by trying to make it too real.
Right. I agree.
So like maybe in what you're saying is they took their foot off the rail too much,
right.
right? Which I could see because like him
Because
sitting,
I don't like the
'cause it was
prior
weird. I'm not gonna
Supermans.
lie, it was weird with him sitting in the bedroom talking to Lois while there's a monster outside
Yeah.
and his peoples is fighting, and he's like, they'll be okay. Like that was kind of cartoonish to what you're saying. Like I don't know, like they.
See, and that's another thing.
It reminds
right?
me of what's that cartoon back in the day? Jack Rabbit. Rabbit. He used to just be a rabbit, but he was in real life. He used to be with Paula Abdul.
Yeah, I know. What
It just reminds me of that.
Roger Rabbit.
Roger
Rabbit.
Jack
Roger
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about that video.
What video?
The video with where she was dancing with that yeah.
Chester the Cat.
Oh,
But
damn.
to your point, though,
Yeah, we all.
what,
Was that the straight up
No.
now tell me that video? Straight up now tell me.
Yeah.
That video. Okay, got you.
Who's our audience?
Yo.
We referencing Paula Abdul. That's crazy.
watching? Yeah, for real. Watching
That's
this
crazy.
movie was like watching the kids WB show back in the day,
It's-
and they
yeah.
just put that on.
Right.
That's what I was watching.
So here's my disagreement
Right.
with that.
But
That's
I
the
love
equivalent.
I love if they, to your point of, it felt like the real Superman. That
It
they nailed.
he felt like the real Superman.
You know,
Yeah.
where did that, like, what scene made you feel like, okay, this is the real Superman?
The first scene
The first scene
when he got beat and he was hurt and all that.
and he was like, take me home. That scene?
The first scene, I was like, okay, this is Superman,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because Superman in the comic books, he could do all this stuff, yes, but he gets beat. He gets beat up. He has a level of weakness that you don't see in other superheroes, right? And that's Superman in the very essence. He's super, but he's a man at the same time,
Facts.
right?
Yeah.
And
To that point, what made me feel like he's the real Superman was his Clark Kent scenes. Like when he was with Lois, like he felt like the real Superman in those scenes.
Gotcha.
Like when he became Superman, it felt like a cartoon. Like, you know what I'm saying? It felt like he went from real life to cartoon.
What you think, Serge? What scene was it for you?
That it was the real Superman.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was throughout the entire movie. I accepted the movie for what it was.
Yeah.
And when I say like the iteration of Kids WB, that's what I took it as. So I didn't have high expectations. It wasn't necessarily low either.
Word.
Like that's just what it was.
I had one scene that gave me like goosebumps. Pause. It was when the building was falling on the lady who was driving the car, and he held the building up just long enough for her to drive her car from getting crushed, and she's looking in the rear view, and the building actually crushes him, but he comes out of the building like slowly, like just floating in the air, and the silhouette of Superman's in there. I was like, damn, that's fucking Superman for real.
Or
Like, and he made the eye contact with her, like, go ahead. Like, I'll be all right. And he let the building fall on him after she got through. I was like, oh man,
that's
that was
fire.
a dynamic scene.
Yeah.
That was
I do
dynamic
think
scene.
he's a Superman that could like work throughout all these movies.
Oh,
that they
word.
got lined
Oh, yeah.
up.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
he was the closest thing to feeling like Superman to Christopher Reeves.
Whoa,
You know?
good
He
point.
was the closest thing
good
because
point.
Christopher Reeves, regardless of what anybody says,
Shout out to the family too, because Christopher Reeves' son was in there.
Yeah.
Cameo. That was
Word.
pretty
like
cool.
He what?
Yeah.
I didn't even
Yeah,
realize
he
that.
was
the
a
news
reporter.
reporter. Was Christopher Reeves' son?
The thing is, Christopher Reeves embodied Superman, both as Clark Kent and Superman. And he doesn't, like, Henry Cavill was dope, but I felt Henry Cavill was too malicious as Superman.
He was too dark. He was
Yeah.
Batman with a Superman suit on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Even Clark
that
Kent.
was a Superman like for down
like,
the road.
We never
Like,
laughed in in Henry Cavill Superman movies.
I-
We laughed in the first 5 minutes of this Superman
Yeah.
movie. As soon as what's his name, Cosmo
Yeah.
came on there,
Crypto.
Crypto came on there hitting him. Everybody's cracking up, laughing. You should be laughing in the Superman movie. It's a fact.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
my biggest qualm was not Superman, was not the side characters. It was like the villains' motivations, how they got to it.
That was underdeveloped.
And
Yeah.
that was just so underdeveloped because it's like you're trying to kill Superman. Why didn't you kill him with Metamorpho, whoever that guy was? You had him turn into kryptonite. You should have killed him there. Right? If you made a clone of Superman, why didn't you make multiple clones? Right? He was having a tough time with the one clone. Make multiple clones.
Essentially.
But we don't know if he could,
Yeah.
first of all.
Which
It was
is
just
true.
underdeveloped.
And then, like
So-
you said something earlier. You're like, yo, he went all the way to Superman's fortress to get the video of him. He didn't know what he was going there for.
Which is true.
You know, he just went there just to see what was there.
So, and then somebody yesterday, I had this conversation yesterday about it. Oh, well, he was, Superman couldn't be in two places at once. Well, if Superman got beat in the beginning and you had him at the Fortress of Solitude, why not have the clone do some really despicable stuff? Right? And then Superman have to figure out who's doing this to him. Right?
What do you mean by despicable?
Like,
Well,
I don't know, take over that country he was supposed to take over.
Well, he did. They tried to do both things at the same time. And that's why he used his friends to help him in the country, because he couldn't be in the country and taking care of Metropolis at the same time. He couldn't
Which
be
is-
in two places at the same time.
I'm talking about from the bad guy's perspective, not the good guy's perspective. Right? Because you had a clone of Superman that you put in a suit to be Ultraman, that you put in another suit to be the bad guy from that country. It's like putting a hat on a hat, right? Where you cut the middleman out and say, this is Superman. You see these things over here that he's doing, right?
So that brings me to the final scene of the movie. Did you see the
Yeah.
last scene? In the last scene, Superman and Mr. Terrific are staring at the at a building that was split in half. And Mr. Terrific put the building back together. But they're both staring at it, and Superman's like, it looks like it's off a little bit. It doesn't look quite perfect. Did you understand that scene?
Break it down.
So James Gunn put that scene in the movies to say, I fixed DC, but some of you are still going to sit there and look at it
Oh,
and
I
say
get
it's not perfect. You're
get
still
you.
going to nitpick the small things, but I took my time to put this broken thing together and make it look whole again. And I think that was the point of the movie, is that he fixed something that was broken. Was it perfect? No. But was it good enough that we can now continue in a much better direct timeline for DC? Yes. I think that now we can have an
Oh, that's
actual
for sure.
universe.
They started
So
I
they're
think
that.
gonna
that
have
was
a
the point.
Batman in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, they already
So-
casted a new Batman and everything.
No.
Henry
So Batman is gonna
No, I
be
thought that was a rumor.
Who's the
So,
new Batman?
I heard
That's what I
another
heard.
guy's name that I never heard of
Oh,
before.
they said Henry Cavill.
I heard
Somebody
Henry
said-
too. I heard Henry too.
I heard
Yeah.
that was a rumor.
But the Batman in this particular universe, is going to be Batman with his son Damian Wayne.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
that's
not,
what
so the
it's
story
gonna
is going to be
like,
Batman
all
and
the
Damian
Robins
Wayne.
are already going to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's,
Oh, that's dope.
Because they're
Yeah.
That's
currently,
good because they was
Yeah.
gonna make Robin gay.
yeah, they're casting Nightwing
Well,
right now.
They
well,
probably
Tim Drake
They
is
would have.
Tim Drake is bisexual.
Who?
Tim Drake, the second Robin, or
the
the
one that
third
got
Robin.
killed.
No, that's the third.
That's
That's,
Jason.
the second one. The
Yeah,
third
you're
Robin
right,
is
you're right.
bisexual.
but
So
I thought these were comics, man. Why these niggas?
no, he's
Mhm.
bisexual in the comics.
So Batman in this DC series is gonna be corny too. Then
No, I don't think so.
not like corny, but he's gonna be not as dark.
it
They're
depends
saying-
because Batman, like, that's what you're going to have to do because
They're-
Batman
they're
is going to
saying
have to
that
be.
because the next movie is Clayface, which is a historical Batman villain.
Yeah.
So Clayface is coming out. It's supposed to be a horror film, and they're saying that
its own standalone?
yes,
Yeah, standalone.
yeah.
What do you
so
mean
And then
standalone?
the Batman 2 is coming out too.
and so the Batman
What do you mean
movie,
standalone? It's not connected to this DC universe.
yes, it's connected to it, but it's his own movie.
Like, Clayface the villain is going to have his own movie.
Yes.
Not.
Oh,
Yeah.
So Clayface is coming out. They're saying that the Batman aspect of this universe is going to be dark, but that's the only dark part. Like it's gonna be its own like you'll be
If
able
they
to
follow
watch a
the
Batman
comics,
movie.
it's gonna be dark. It has to be,
So Batman is going to be dark, but Superman ain't gonna be dark.
and that's
what
where
they're saying.
It can't
yeah.
Yes. So that was something that they didn't do in other DC. Everything was dark in the DC universe. Why did you say that name?
So this is not
Like,
this is
Martha.
not the pow
You said
pow
Martha.
boom bow
Yeah.
Batman.
I said
Yeah.
Martha, bro. Like, what you mean?
It ain't gonna be that bad.
Like, what? He just said Martha, bro. Like, I'll tear this building down in 60 seconds. Goes off and kills 15 guys. And that's it. Like, Batman doesn't even do shit like that. Like, he's dark, but not like that.
Man.
Branding people and come on. That was a whole
This is a
nother
little bit
universe.
much.
That was a lot much.
So, do you think this Batman is going to be, as far as the DCU goes, is it going to be the brave and the bold Batman?
That's what they said. It's gonna be the Brave and the Bold.
So, if it's going to be the brave and the bold, it's not going to be that dark, but it's going to be darker.
Yeah.
But it's going to be,
I think they use the villains to make it more horrific.
yeah,
Like they can go dark as they want with the villains. Like
Yeah.
Joker needs to be
all the way,
he needs to be pitch black dark.
all the way.
Well, I mean, they're still gonna have the Robin Pattinson Batman 2 that's not associated with this.
Yeah, no longer associated.
Yeah. That's
They asked
DC Elseworlds.
they asked if they could add him to it and they said no, which I thought was a mistake because between that Batman and the Penguin show, they're on to something.
The Penguin was fire.
Yeah.
Mm.
Fire.
Is that part of the DC universe?
No.
Not
Nope.
this one.
Oh.
It will not be.
Nope. All right.
You never know.
Well, on that was episode 1 of the comic run.
There we go.